And we are live. Manuel, you had 20 minutes.
Yeah, we've been sitting here. I did not put that we were live anywhere. Hey, everyone. It's Ultra Podcast Z, episode 195. Here's a fun little story before I introduce myself. There was a talk, and I'll say this now because it's probably not going to happen. So I like doing that. There was a talk around last year, around episode 190 or 180 something, and I talked about it with JD that we were going to end UPZ, and I don't mean like end the podcast. We were going to keep the podcast idea. We were going to end UPZ, reformat everything. Yeah, by episode 200. But I don't think we're going to do that. And I don't want to do what we did for episode 100, where we just keep waiting for the 200. So we do like 199.2, 199.3, 199.3.5, you know?
No, here's what you do. You do 200 and you do 200B and 200C. And then you just let people choose whichever one they prefer.
Yeah, we should do that. We should definitely do that. I'm sure JD would love that.
Sure, it's
joining
like
us.
5 times the editing.
That's
I'm
lovely.
sure.
Wait, why did my Kindle just turn off? Sorry, I use a Kindle to read the chat.
Are you streaming from your? Okay, I thought you were like streaming from your Kindle, and I was gonna ask. Wait, is that why it can't handle Roll20? Because that would explain everything.
Honestly, everything can handle Roll20. I talked about this before. It's just that fucking that one time when, not the one time, but that entire one campaign that Warren did, he had the world's biggest map. I think he used the biggest map size and then had 1 million tokens on it. So I'm surprised you guys didn't have issues. And I learned that if I loaded that early, like if somebody would let me in the game, because you can only join the game, I guess, if someone's, I don't know, but if somebody,
it has to populate in the cache and everything.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if you clear your shit every single time you come back in, it's going to take a millennia to load again.
So I was able. So once I realized that, I would just load it like when we were like a half hour before, and it would be fine. But yeah, that was my biggest issue with that. Hey everyone, I'm Manuel, leader of AJ Connections, and sometimes I have really potato internet.
Sometimes.
So all the time. And joining us on this lovely Valentine's Day, go introduce yourself, Pleiades.
Hello, everybody. I'm Pleiades. I'm head of video content for Treasure Box Press. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at PLEIA_DS for the finest of shit posts and the occasional classy lewd. We happen to do a bi-weekly. Is that the right term for that?
Yes.
When it's on schedule, D&D podcast, along with some other very interesting and entertaining individuals called Drink Talk Roll. So, hey, next one's coming up this Friday. Barring any extenuating circumstances. So, hey, please feel free to tune in and watch us just make asses of ourselves.
Yeah, if you watch the last stream, which I just put on YouTube a couple days ago or over the weekend, if you watch the last stream and you get to the end, I'm about to die, as in Alavic's about to die. So get into that. So see if Alavic dies.
Honestly, it's not a real like D&D session if one of us isn't right on the border of death.
Well, Alavic has died several times that sounds weird to say. Alavic has died many times in playthroughs. And typically I do follow the rule. I know this is turned into a D&D podcast. I typically do follow the rules where, like, if we're still running a consistent campaign, I won't bring him back again. But if we, so it'll be Alavic's brother, Galavic Wyvernspur.
Honestly, I don't hate like that kind of mechanism for like letting people be okay with their characters dying, but like still figuring out like a workaround so you can still play and shit. It's not just like, okay, you sit in the corner while the rest of us finish up.
Well, that's usually what has to happen. Oh, see, I'm sure JD loves this talk. Actually, JD, did you ever play 2nd edition D&D?
I've only played 5th edition D&D.
Well, in older editions of D&D, I've mentioned this many a time, but I don't think it exists at all in modern versions. There was a mechanic where you would get mercenaries to join you, and that was kind of necessary to like not get TPK'd every so often because everybody was so fragile back then. So typically, what would happen if your character died and you wanted them to keep playing? It's like, oh, well, I guess you could just pretend you take on one of the random NPCs. You give them a name now,
That would kind of be a decent way to like work around like having rotating party members sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like not like I was thinking about. I was like trying to figure out because like that's a bit. and we
And then
need like contingency plans. And I was like, we need something like this. Like, how do we do it so like a party member's like, cool. So if something can happen, it's like we swap out Shiva for Ifrit, like that kind of thing.
It's called just doing a mission-based structure where you just all head back to home base every time. Like
no,
you're
literally,
monster
Like we could
hunters.
actually finish everything in one session.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
the thing.
Well, you just have to plan for a one-shot. Look up the West Marches style of play.
What does that mean? Anyway,
Exactly what I just described, essentially.
it's Valentine's Day. Is everyone feel loved?
Yeah, actually, we got a nice little card in the morning. Got some nice socks. Me and my girlfriend like agreed on no gifts, so we didn't. But I did kind of feel like the compulsion to like just last night I like made huevos con chorizo and papas like so she had breakfast in the morning, and I made her like a little bento with a hamburger steak like cut like a heart. So I was like, no gifts, but
Oh,
hey, we out here though, right?
there was a. What did I miss? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Say it again. Fuck you guys. you guys in the you guys in the chat talking shit. Sorry, I'm joking. Um, I went to Dollar Tree today. I mentioned this to
Very
JD before.
romantic.
Yeah, I went to Dollar Tree today to go get some candy. This is a it's a really I should
Today? Oh, well, never mind. I was gonna say
okay.
like you just wait till
Actually,
tomorrow.
thank you. I'm a dumbass. I forgot what day it was. I literally wanted you know what mambas are? It's
Mambas?
like
Oh, they're like cats
Star-
kind of right, but like really
yeah.
long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted some of those because like I have this like fake Taiwan beer thing that like Yuji gave me. And I
Hmm.
like to fill it up with mambas. So when I'm drunk, I eat mambas all the time. And it was empty. So I went to the Dollar Tree to go get some of those. And I go in and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot it was Valentine's Day. Because that fucker had lines to the back of the store, people buying balloons and whatever. And I
And
was
that's
like,
how you know the
oh my God.
economy's messed up. Everybody at the Dollar Tree for Valentine's Day is rough.
No, I used to work Party City during Valentine's Day, and I'll never forget because we used to have the heart balloons, like just we used to get them in
Um,
boxes, and
yeah, yeah, yeah,
those were not only $1 each, they were $1 each, but they were also like a dozen for like $8 or some shit like that.
yeah.
So we would
Yeah,
literally
you get
sit there
one for one, and then seven
eight,
side chicks or
yeah,
side guys.
12 exactly. You gotta give it to everyone. We used to fill those up all day at Party City. I fucking hated Valentine's Day.
I didn't even think Party City stayed open year round long enough to see Valentine's Day.
We're not well, we are not like I still work there. Fuck Party City. That's how fucking institutionalized they made me. I just said we 5 years after I
It's
stopped
just
working there.
ingrained. It's
Yeah.
like no matter what, it's always going to be there. You have a brand on you somewhere.
but Party City is not it's not a fly by night Halloween store only. It's actually
I
funny
totally thought it was.
because during AX season or during even ALA season, um basically the local big cons, um we used to get a lot of like the young weebs, like because obviously, like if you're an older,
Weeblets.
if you're yeah, if you get an older weeb, they'd probably go to Joann's and make their own cosplay. I'm not saying anything's wrong with having you get your own cosplay, but we get a lot of like the really young, like middle school, young high school weebs who'd come in trying to put together a Party City cosplay.
That's
Uh,
cute. That's kind of adorable.
yeah, and like and they and we did like I think sometimes we would just straight up have like because like we did have Naruto costumes every so often, or like I can't think of anything Power Ranger. What else is fucking weeb? But every so often we just have something like
Deadpool.
that. Deadpool. Oh
I mean,
God,
it's not weeb, but like you will see it there at any
fucking,
given con.
I can't stand Deadpool. Cons have ruined. I've mentioned before. Cons have ruined Deadpool for me. Um, I've experienced enough Deadpool content for the rest of my life thanks to cons. And I know you might be like, that's not content. Yeah, fucking go to a con like
Content.
10, maybe not 10 years ago, like when the movies were big, and
Content, yeah. As in
and
enough for 10 cons.
the fucking annoying Deadpools, like the ones who are like I'm in character, and in character apparently means I'm an asshole and a troll.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
But that was real though. People are way more willing to be assholes the second they have a Deadpool mask on. Realistically, it's probably any mask, but that mask especially, like, man, it might as well be the mask like from Jim Carrey's mask.
Did you guys see that there was an anime convention? I think it was in Idaho. I know I think it's in Idaho. It's in somewhere like in the middle of fucking nowhere, like a flyover state, America. No offense if you live in Idaho, but a flyover. I'm like, I talk all this shit. Like, no offense if you live there. It's the middle of nowhere con.
There's really no
and
one there. There'd be no one to complain.
they went mildly viral, and as viral an Idaho con can go, because like last week or the week before, they announced on all the social media channels that they're not allowing any cosplay that's not anime related.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it was so funny
Okay,
because
police that. Like,
exactly.
who bounced them out of there? Fuck out of here.
Even I'll admit that's fucking stupid. Don't get me wrong, I just spent all this time bullshit. I mean, talking shit about Deadpool, and there was a younger part of me that would get annoyed. Actually, there still is a part of me that hates when I go to the Ren Fair and the fucking Jedis and the Star Trek, especially the Star Trek people show up, and I'm like, the first time I went, that was funny, kinda, but like seeing Doctor Who and like basically
The
it's always
Doctor?
sci-fi.
Manuel?
Doctor is he Doctor Who? I don't
The
know.
Doctor.
Do you not call him Who? Do you not call him
No,
by
You don't
his
call
given
them-
name?
You don't call them
No, he's mad
Doctor
when
Who.
doctors show up. Like if like
They're-
the 911 is called, he's like, this is bullshit. Why are there doctors here? This is medieval ages. We don't have modern medicine here.
So
Their
it
name
always-
is
it
just
always-
the Doctor.
all I know is that one of the Targaryens was a doctor. Apparently, I did not know this till after
Yes,
the fact. I
Matt
only
Smith.
Know, he apparently was one of the more loved ones too. I
Yeah, he
didn't
was
know
the
that
11th
until-
Doctor. You didn't know this, Manuel?
Yeah, I didn't know this. I just knew him as the
Oh,
incense dragon guy.
Yeah, that guy. Oh yeah.
The guy with the one
yeah,
who
yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah from House of the Dragon. The yeah, apparently he was a doctor. Anyways, yeah, the fucking con got all this flack for it, and I don't know. Even I think that's stupid. But then it's a fucking con in Idaho. It's like, be glad people are going at all.
Yeah, Manuel, the name of the con is
Saying-
Anime Oasis.
Spoiler.
Anime Oasis. It would be called that because that's all the fucking like. I'm sure that's why they named it that. But that's literally probably what it is. Like the one fucking weeb thing for like 100 miles or more, so more than 100 miles. You know what I mean? There can't be an anime scene. There just can't. And once again, no offense if you live there. Keep your fandoms alive wherever you're at. But like, somebody should just set up a rival one. Surely, if there's enough of you to support Anime Oasis, just fucking start Anime Potato.
Honestly,
Wait,
I mean,
is
you
Idaho
do, like,
potato? Yeah, it's
Yes.
potatoes, right? Call it anime.
yeah, they're your
potato.
internet.
Anime. Yes, there you go. Anime potato, and just get a really cute potato, and like with anime with ooh eyes, and call the mascot Potato Chan, and there you go. I'm fucking doing your marketing
That'll
for
work.
you. Anyways, wait, did my internet freeze? Because
No.
Pleiades stopped moving.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I just looked like it's on my end, too.
Okay, yeah, Pleiades froze. Pleiades died. See, that's what he gets for talking shit about my internet being a potato. Look at. Oh, wait, there it goes. He moved like 5 feet. Wait, did I say 5 feet? He literally
5
leaned
inches.
forward. Yeah. Anyway, I'll keep going on about anime potato. Yeah, just fucking do that. Anime potato. That would be great. Bring me on,
Just a
anime
potato.
potato.
Oh, thank God, I'm.
There you go. You're back.
Kinda.
Kind
You're
of.
frozen again.
Funny, he's literally potatoing. It's funny because in the chat, Terrence mentioned D Pity.
Yep. Yep. I was like, I cursed myself, is what it was. I jinxed it. I'm sorry, internet gods. I should have never said anything bad about Manuel's internet connection.
See, told you. But
That's
D
okay,
Pity.
yeah, there you go.
We interviewed Vampy one time at Fanime. It's a con in NorCal, and Vampy bit me, I should say. And we interviewed her there. And it's a long story. It was never going to be an interview I was going to do. But the people who went to go to the people who went to go do the interview, as in like there was a bunch of us at the con, so I was like, I'm going to sit this one out and get drunk, not gonna lie, and you guys can do this interview because you guys also have press, but they couldn't make some of the other interviews, so it's a fair trade. Anyway, those guys decided it would be a good idea to bring one of their drunk friends, not Manuel, by the way, bring one of their drunk friends, and this is like 10 a.m. this interview's happening. So like this dude's already fucking blasted on fucking Stolly vodka, you know, in like uh,
What a
fucking
legend.
early in the morning. And if you watch that interview on YouTube, which only exists on YouTube because I'm like, where else did I put this? It's such a it's a fun interview and Vampy's having a good time. But the dude interviewing her and keeps interjecting the people interviewing her are doing the interview proper. But this drunk guy, their drunk friend, just keeps interjecting random shit. TLDR, this guy ended up becoming friends with
Be
Vampy
like
though
me
through
for
this.
real.
Became friends with Vampy,
Yeah.
and then we kind of ended up hanging out with her and D Pity a lot. So D Pity's fine. That was a long-winded way to say D Pity's okay. Also, by this time in D Pity's career or whatever, he was rocking the what's his name, Star-Lord, more than Deadpool.
Oh my god.
Did you watch the new Guardians of the Galaxy trailer?
I did actually. I hadn't until I saw it on the docket, and then I was like, all right. So I need to make sure I actually like know what went on here before I would pop onto the pod.
No, I watched. What do you
Mhm.
think?
I mean, it really does. So like overall, I mean, looks good. I don't know how the hell the high evolutionaries like playing in, and I'm afraid that I'm gonna have to freaking watch the Eternals or whatever it is, the crappy one, to actually understand this one. I'm like, I don't want to have to watch the bad one to understand the good one.
Yeah, is that where they explain some of this shit? Because apparently there is like some of the are they called the Celestials? I hear what they're called.
Yep.
Yeah, like is that where I actually did not know until I was reading some of the comments on this shit. Like what Pleiades just mentioned that apparently there's celestial content in the Eternals. I don't know who the Eternals are. I have no fucking idea.
In the original Marvel run, they were basically like the like not outcast version of like Thanos's type of like family.
Oh,
Like he was like I forget what the term was,
Deviant.
but like he was like there's a term for it, but like he was like the bad ones.
Yeah, he's a part mutate or with a deviant variation or something like that that makes him an
Deviant,
outcast.
that's what it was. Yeah, thanks. Right.
has Watchers been shown at all in the MCU, by the way?
Yes, they were a gag in Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Okay, so I haven't.
When it's Stanley's cameo, he's reporting to them.
Okay. Well, what ifs don't really count anyway. What's his face is in a what if?
Not yet.
Not Donald Duck. What the fuck is his name?
Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck.
He's
like
also in both Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
And he was also in Endgame.
Yeah, he's also in Endgame. If you like freeze frame at the last battle, he's there.
Fucking Howard the Duck. But no, I like the trailer. I was hoping for more Warlock action, as in any.
I don't know what they do with Warlock though, because like unless they go back and retcon Thanos being like a deviant.
Thank you. I was like, what are they gonna do with that character? Like his literal entire existence, his powers technically come from the Soul Gem. Like that's like Warlock. That's most of Warlock. I know a little purist would be like, he fought the Beastmen in the first few episodes without the. Yes, I know that. Fuck that part of Warlock. Nobody cares about the Beastmen. Does anyone know about the Beastmen? But he got the Soul Gem, and that was that was his whole arc is all about the Soul Gem. He is the Infinity Watch. Like I mean, he isn't. He formed the Infinity Watch, I should say. It's like I thought they destroyed them all. Or are they back?
He ex Deus Machina. He's ex Deus Machina, the character.
Yeah, Deus Ex Machina.
And they've already used a lot of the stuff like out of order. Like the whole thing about like Gamora getting killed or whatever would have happened in Warlock's watch. Like, you know.
Okay, so I have one thing about that. So I think they're gonna like touch on this, like from what I saw in the trailer. It's really like I get in context that Finn is like, oh my god, you're my girlfriend. It's like, no, she's not. She's a different person because she's in a different timeline and she had different experiences.
Yes.
Bro, you are creepy. Like it's not the same person.
That is really weird. That's like that's the equivalent of somebody like, oh, like, my girlfriend died, so I'm gonna create like a clone of her.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
I feel like there's a movie about that.
I think there is. That's why it's like a very common, easy to do plot. But like, it just like, yeah, I agree. Also, I didn't, and I guess it's obvious that James Gunn clearly moving on to DC. But like, I didn't realize there was going to be this whole sense of finality with Guardians 3. So I'm just like, what are they gonna do? Make a Warlock movie and then a fucking in betweener movie? And like, is Galactus gonna come back?
Yeah,
Like,
probably
Galactus
for
is
a Fantastic Four.
yeah, eventually Galactus is definitely gonna show up, but they gotta like run through Kang first. They gotta
oh,
like milk that cow first, and then they'll move on to Galactus.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of lack of cohesion in the current, and apparently it's done. Didn't
Oh,
it
there
end
is.
with? There's a lack of cohesion with the current phase. I guess the current, like once again, I think phase 4 is that where we're on
No,
phase
we're
5,
just
right?
about to start Phase 5 with Ant
There
Man
you go.
on.
Well, phase 4
Mm.
ended, if I'm
Yeah.
correct, right?
Yes.
Phase four was at the end game. It ended with end game.
No,
No, it ended
Phase
with the post end game.
No way.
Phase 3 ended with Far From Home. Phase 4 ended with
That's what it
Wakanda
was.
Forever
Yeah.
and the Christmas special.
Christmas special.
Okay.
I
gotcha.
just feel there's a hell of a lot of lack of cohesion in the post Endgame movies, and I'm
There
just
is.
like, it doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel like they're leading towards anything, which is kind of weird that they still bought. And don't get me wrong, they don't have to connect, but they went through all that trouble making this connected series, and they kind
Mhm.
of just like, now they're being a little
To be
wishy washy
fair,
with it.
here's the thing. We remember everything that was like after the Avengers movie, like that was like the cohesive moment, but like before that, everything else, yeah, it was pretty much just kind of like out there. And we didn't really expect anything, but at the same time, our expectations weren't that everything was
Mhm.
going to be like cohesive. It was a miracle that they even managed to like pull that together.
It's funny because it took me a couple, like, I think it was when Endgame was coming out, like around that time, when I was trying to watch some of the movies again, that I forgot the Civil War was not an Avengers movie, that
Mhm.
was a Captain America movie.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that, which explains why it focuses so much on him and fucking Bucky. I
Bucky.
forget his. Okay, I forgot the Winter Soldier. I forget his name. Yeah, Bucky.
James
'Cause, like,
Buchanan Barnes, aka Bucky.
is that why they call him Bucky?
Mhm.
Yes.
All I know is Bucky. Bucky reminds me too much of like Bucky O'Hare. What is the fucking rabbit?
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
and like, and that conjures up images of Howard the Duck in my head too. So I just feel like I'm going all full circle again. By the way, I want it said right now that when I was a kid, and I said this many a times in the past, have you ever heard some of my favorite movies I loved growing up?
Yeah,
I don't
movies
know.
back then.
Yeah, fuck you. I don't know if cable TV in when I was a kid was just
They had cable TV
bad.
back then in the Stone Age?
Fuck you.
Was
I
it
don't know
like,
if just like
on the Flintstones where it's just like a bird projecting it?
I,
Yeah, a little bird comes out of the remote and it has to like fly over and like click the thing.
I'm not gonna lie. When I was a brief deviation, when I was a kid, we had a TV in each room, but the TV that was in the kitchen, which actually I don't think I've had a TV in the kitchen since I was a kid, at all of my life. But the TV in
Absolutely.
the TV in the kitchen was an old black and white one, and like it was a black and white TV that had dials you would turn, like a dial, a literal dial, like not buttons that went up and down, but a dial that stopped at certain points. And it was, yeah. And like I used to love when like I Love Lucy would come on, or like something that was actually black and white, because
You
because
mentioned
the
Bucky
TV.
O'Hare?
The
Yeah,
TV
yeah,
Bucky O'Hare?
You don't know what Bucky O'Hare is?
No, you mentioned Bucky O'Hare and then you mentioned old TV, and I'm trying to draw the
Oh,
line. I'm trying
okay,
to connect
okay.
these dots.
I'm gonna stop deviating real fast. So, anyways, when I don't know, when I was a kid, cable TV was bad. They would just buy any movie, but apparently, all the
Yep.
movies I loved growing up were the shit movies. Like I loved Rocky Five,
Mhm.
I loved RoboCop 3, I loved North, which is considered one of the worst movies of all time. The list goes on. But one of the movies I loved was also Howard the Duck. Oh, look at cats wandering in front.
I've heard people talk about that being one of those movies that's just like it's so weird that like you should watch it just because it's such a just like a movie, a moment of the era where it's just like weird practical effects, and that how it just looks freaky.
Yeah. And I don't know. I remember there's a scene kind of early on. It's very infamous where there's like duck nudity, where like they show some duck titties, And
Woo!
mind you, it's makeup, and it's not like a real naked person. But I remember even as a kid that scene stuck with me. But wait, what am I saying?
Yeah, I have no idea.
But
You're
anyways,
not. No,
I
listen,
like
like
the movie. I liked the movie. That's all I had to say. I liked Howard the Duck, not ironically, not because I think it was funny to like a bad movie. Like I was literally like a 5-6-year-old kid, and I'm like, Howard the Duck's on, and I'm getting excited and put it on. you
yeah, when you're a kid, you'll eat anything up. Like
know.
101 Dalmatians, a live action one, was a dog water movie, but it was a critical like success. It went gangbusters. Those freaking McDonald toys were insane. They made one for every single like dog, and like they only showed like maybe 8 of them during the actual movie.
Show all 101. Like that would be the whole movie. They each get in 1 minute screen time.
Imagine all those voice actors. Fuck that.
It's funny because apparently, when the Street Fighter movie came out, by the way, I love that movie too. I love the Mario movie, the original one. I love Double Dragon. But anyway, I love all the bad movies. But when the Street Fighter movie came out, apparently one of their things is Capcom's like each character has to have 3 minutes of screen time or whatever. So that's why that movie's kind of like so weird, and everyone gets like a bunch of. Anyways, imagine 101 Dalmatians. Let's come back to it. Let's go back to Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy looks fine. The thing I wanted to talk about was that the song that's used in the thing,
Yeah.
it's called "Since You've Been Gone" by Rainbow. I love that song. I love that band. I mentioned it on a stream, which I think JD watched because JD was like, "Oh, we should do this on UPZ," and we did do it on UPZ. And I mentioned that was one of my no skip albums. The album it's from, it's called Down to Earth. It's
Okay.
Rainbow's famous because Rainbow had Ronnie James Dio. They're the ones who Richie Blackmore.
Okay.
Yeah, Richie Blackmore discovered Ronnie James. He discovered all the vocalists. He discovered Ronnie James Dio, got him famous, and he went to Black Sabbath and then went solo. Then he discovered Graham Bonnet, who was like an R&B singer before, and then turned him rock. And then he joined Michael Schenker Group. He joined Alcatraz, and he went solo. Then he found Joel Turner, and then like made him famous. And then he joined other groups. Anyways, but the album with Graham Bonnet is the one where "Since You've Been Gone" is from. Love the album, love that song. And I was kind of being very gatekeeper boomer-y, going on TikTok, and everybody's like,
No.
everybody's using the song. You have 2 cats.
Yeah, and they're both complete just gremlins, and anytime they hear me talking, they demand to be in my vicinity.
It's funny because people watching, I don't think you could see the other cat in the far corner, but the cat that just ran behind him is the second cat that showed up on screen. Anyway, but yeah,
this one's Selena, and this one's Melina.
named after the Mortal
Elden Ring
Kombat
boss.
character.
Actually, Selena named after the singer.
Okay.
Oh,
Which one?
And it turned out Melina is actually like Selena's also like a Greek moon goddess, I think, or something like that. And Melina turns out to be the sun one. So I was like, oh, cool. There you go. She's the goth sister. That's the Raven, and then that's the Starfire.
At ALA, one of the mornings I was feeling really sick, I saw they were showing Teen Titans, and I saw an episode, like I guess I don't know if it's like the episode where they show like wait, Starfire and Raven, was that their names?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, the evil one and the good one. And they were getting
the good one. Oh, you mean Starfire and Blackfire?
No, which is the one that has like the bandages on her arms and like has the helmet, has like the crown looking thing.
Tara?
Anyways, there was an episode, maybe you know the episode, where Starfire is the green one, right?
She's purple and with orange skin and red hair.
Give me a stroke.
Beast Boy's the green colored one.
Green? She's not fucking green.
I'm also colorblind, by the way. It's we are thinking about the same one though, right? The one that Robin likes.
Yeah, Starfire.
Okay, so there was an episode where Starfire was being betrothed to like the slug monster.
Yeah.
Okay.
and she was being betrothed to the slug monster because like the evil her, I don't know if that's actually her evil her.
No, that's her older sister.
That's her name's Blackfire.
Oh, is that who that is?
Yeah, and the character you're talking about with the bandages is Tara.
Oh, all I know is that a friend of mine used to cosplay the evil sister all the time, and, that's all I remember about that character. But I saw the episode, I'm like, oh look, I finally understand where that character came from. I like how I tried to explain the story really fast, and I just showed how stupid I am when it comes to fucking Teen
You're like
Titans.
green. I'm like, what fucking Beast? What?
Is she not green? I thought
No,
she.
she's
She
purple. She wears purple.
orange.
She has orange
her
skin
skin.
and red hair. That's orange.
Her skin is orange.
I'll be real with you. This is how bad my color blindness is. If obviously, I don't have to lie. I thought that was green. Not the same green that Beast Boy is, but I thought that was also a green.
What do you see when you watch Shrek?
He's a very yellow green.
Okay, Manuel. What
Okay,
color is
you
Donald
actually
Trump
are
at a
going.
rally?
he. It's funny because I want to say orange, but he looks more red to me.
Do you turn on the colorblind settings when you play video games by chance? Like legitimately?
No, it's funny you bring that up because if you ever watched our Among Us streams, there was this whole issue whenever we play Among Us because like
Oh
back in the day
my
when
god,
it first came out,
oh god, I
because
can only imagine.
they eventually did, and I'm sure now if you play it now, there are colorblind or color whatever modes that help it
Yeah.
out. But back in the day, I fucked up many games because I'm like, it's green, and they'll vote off green, and I'm like, oh shit, I meant that one. Because like to me, I was, and green's a
That is
very
the
common one. I see green a lot of places. I guess it isn't.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it. I can see it. Like I've seen, they have like shaders or like glasses that also like kind of like show what it's like when like colorblindness can be like. And when I saw it, I was like, holy shit! Like showing like melee with that, it's like everything is like, yeah, if you don't pick like specifically one color of fox, you are not gonna tell where the hell you are on Dreamland. There's just no way.
So, anyways, since you've been gone, love the song. I hated that it became trendy. Did you watch the Flash trailer? It's not on the
Sorry,
docket, but did
sorry
you watch
Manuel. You
it?
mean that Batverse trailer with the Flash kind of in it?
Thank you. So I fucking watched the Flash trailer this morning, just randomly, and like, first of all, that's my first time ever seeing Ezra Miller. That's actually the reason I clicked on it because I'm like, who the fuck is this person that like?
Oh, Psycho.
Yeah, the destroyed the internet, destroyed DC, that Warner Brothers was
Abducted
like,
children.
yeah, I
Guns are
just had to know.
choked
So I
out a
clicked,
fan.
on it, and the crazy thing is, the Flash Ezra Miller is barely in it, and like, first of all. Not only is it like a Batman, because like they focus a lot on Batman. He's like, and they even give him the line. Is by the way,
To be
it's Michael
fair,
Keaton Batman, right?
Yeah.
And he's all like, yes, I'm Batman. But it's like he's a very tired Batman now. He's like old man Logan Batman, old man Bruce.
you mean Batman Beyond Bruce?
Yeah, exactly. And but like the villain is fucking what's his name? The fucking
Reverse
Superman
Flash.
guy. The
Zod.
Superman Zod. Yeah. I'm like, why is Zod in this?
That's so dumb.
Like, what plot is this? Like, Superman's not in it, right? Didn't they fire
Supergirl's in it.
Oh, she is? I didn't see her.
Yeah.
Who the fuck's playing Supergirl?
Let me look it up.
Supergirl,
Manuel,
by
just
the way,
keep going.
I like the Supergirl movie too. It's a movie no one likes. I'm sure
Not a movie. I thought it was just a series on
Sasha
CW.
Callie, it looks like.
who?
I have no idea.
Okay, she's a nobody. She's probably famous. Like, she's a nobody.
No, she probably is out there. It's just like not in like the media you watch. Like I've like had that happen with like a bunch of actors. I'm like, who? Like, oh yeah, they're massive. They were in this adaptation of a YA novel. I'm like, that is why I did not know who they are. Okay.
yeah, it looks like one of her only major roles was on The Young and the Restless. So unless Manuel's keeping up with the stories, he probably hasn't seen it.
Dude, there was a point in my life where I actually tried to like watch soap operas. Like, there was a summer of my life where I thought it'd be interesting to follow the plots of a soap opera, and like, and I know this is how soap
Like
operas
you're
are.
trying to be old.
No, they're written specifically to be like this, but they have like no plot resolution. They just drag shit out forever, and obviously they're meant to because
Yeah,
it's
they're
meant to be
anime.
like, yeah, it's like tune in for like literally thousands of episodes.
Leave every
Also,
single thing open ended because there's no monetary incentive to like actually close things out.
young Manuel was really into horror movies. I mentioned this many a time. I still am, but I was really into horror movies when I was younger. And my mom told me about Dark Shadows. And if you don't know what Dark Shadows is, it's been, I think,
You
didn't
mean that
Tim
movie with
Burton
Johnny
make a
Depp?
Is
movie?
that a radio
Yeah.
drama?
So it's funny you bring that up, but like that movie has nothing to do with what Dark Shadows really is. Dark Shadows is a soap opera that stars Barnabas Collins, like Dracula, basically, like legally distinct Dracula. There's a wolf man. There, it's all that. It's like the monsters, but like a soap opera. And when I was a kid, I assumed this was like the monsters but serious. But I watched it, and it's a literal soap opera. like, like nothing happens for like dozens of episodes, and like apparently the show's filmed live, and I think a lot of soap operas were at the time. So like there'd be literal parts where they would mess up lines or like they would step over each other's lines, and it was like, what am I watching? What the fuck is TV? What the fuck was TV in the 70s?
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
the bird guy. The bird guy from My Hero.
Who?
His
Dark
name,
Shadow.
his hero name is Dark Shadow.
It's funny because like it's funny you mentioned My Hero. There was a viral tweet I saw yesterday that I thought it was my translator friend who commented on it, but it was actually Leslie, and it was basically people making fun of people who use and you didn't do this. I'm not saying, but you reminded me of it.
Oh,
I mean,
it
that
was
title.
Pro ZD.
No, you didn't do it right now, but it reminded me of the plot. But the whole thing was like people who use the Japanese titles instead of the accepted English titles,
Yeah, the
and like
tweet that Pro ZD put
oh, was
out.
it him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yes.
didn't see who did it. And basically, he's talking about like I hate when a friend's like, "Go watch so and so." So I don't know what the title is, and it turns out it's Ghost in the Shell because I didn't even know Ghost in the Shell had a Japanese title.
Yeah,
That's the first I'd ever heard of it. I also didn't know that the Ghibli titles had Japanese titles.
yeah.
Um,
Well,
like obviously
They all
Totoro, because
technically.
Totoro kind of keeps its own. I kind of assumed that, but
yeah,
I didn't know
it's
I didn't know Kiki's Delivery Service had like
it's a witch's like delivery service.
yeah,
Mhm.
and like so on. But my favorite one, and the one that I hear all the time, is the people who say Boku no Hero Academia.
Yeah, I was like, that
Hey,
literally
well,
means my.
My, and
hey,
the funny thing is the comments in the comment section. There's a lot of people who are learning that for the first time.
yeah. There's a lot of people a lot of people start the series like before it gets localized, and then whatever like the popular term is that like goes with it, like if the longer it takes before getting adapted, the more likely it is for like some like mashup of like the English and Japanese to be stuck together, and then that's what they call it.
Yeah,
Well, and the funny thing is like there's the joke, and then like I've made a joke too. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm just stupid. I'm not that funny, but like the joke about calling Boku no Hero Academia, what the fuck it's called in Japanese, calling it Boku no Pico, is a bad joke because the part that you're repeating is literally the word my. You know what I mean? There's no relation to those names at
I'm not
all.
sure what the joke is.
yeah,
Because
Usually jokes have
yeah,
setup and punchlines. There's
I mean, if you not do you not know what Boku
yeah.
no
I know
Pico
what it
is?
is, Manuel. Just keep going.
The
Oh,
whole
yeah,
idea
Manuel.
is that is huh?
Oh
that's
yeah, and for
not, but
go.
there's no setup to the joke and no payoff is what we're
The
saying.
payoff,
You
the,
just
the payoff is
associated there's these words and they're the
There's.
same word, but there
thank
was
you,
no joke.
thank you. That's the point I'm making. The joke the weebs make, and the one I've kind of copied here and there in context, is that they're trying to be like, haha, look how funny it is. I misquoted the big name anime for like is it a hentai, is it a yaoi series? I don't know, but like something more extreme or whatever, and that's the joke. But the thing is, those names are not similar at all. The part that they think is similar, it's like the word "the." If they just like, haha, look how similar these titles are. They both have the word "the." They
Okay.
both have the word "my."
Okay,
Anyway,
Manuel. Yeah. Also,
anyways,
the Japanese title of Ghost in the Shell is Kokaku Kitodai, otherwise or translated as Mobile Armored Riot Police. So yeah, Ghost in the Shell is a much better title.
That's kind of a fire name though. Like that, but it's like you can hear the '80s inspiration in there. Is the best part.
it's funny because like part
That's like
of
the goriest OVA ever.
I love Sailor Moon, but one of the things that annoys me is that people like to differentiate between like Bishojo Senshi, Pretty Soldier, and especially what's the Guardian one called? Because people like to say that
Pretty
that's like
Guardian.
yeah, and they're like, oh, they refer to that as a separate entity, and I'm like, they're all Bishojo Senshi. It's like
well, like I could see if like one of them is like the subtitle or like the title that's used more for like
call it Sailor
live.
Moon.
No, hold on. Some of them, like it might be that like a stage play or like a live show has like one subtitle, whatever, that the other one doesn't, and then within the fandom, it might be a way to like more easily point out, like, no, I'm talking about the live action show, so
Yeah,
I'm
in
gonna
case you
call it this
in
versus
case
like
you
the anime.
in case weebs watching don't know this, if they're learning about this for the first time, I'm sure that they're getting mad at me for like they're distinct. People call the live action Sailor Moon show, like the live action TV show, I should say, Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon. Even though
No,
in
it makes
Japanese
sense.
they had the same title. And then the musical is called Sailor Mew or Seta Mew, sorry, because like it as in like the it's both the portmanteau of just Sailor Moon, like Japanese say anyway, but it's also a way to put like Mew as a musical. Um, but
Okay, that makes sense. And
it's
I mean, like, but like to that effect, like I'll say exactly what my response was. It's just like I'm going to go with whatever is more like easily understood in my circle. Like if I'm talking to a bunch of
yes.
people who like watch dubs, I'm gonna say My Hero Academia because I know they're gonna understand it. If it was like around another circle of people and like they say both of
You
those,
say
I'm
Boku.
gonna say
I
I
want
don't
to make fun
care.
of those people. No, I want to make fun of them.
The point of
Cancel me
words is to
again.
be understood. Is the whole point. It's like why am like I'm not gonna be elitist and like have to
Honestly,
jump through hoops
it's
to
funny you
like
say
get my point across.
it's funny you say that because in my opinion, they're being elitist by trying to use the Japanese. It's like the people who refuse to say Attack on Titan. They say, I don't what the fuck is this? Something
Shingeki no
Kyojin?
Kyojin,
Shingeki no
Yeah.
Kyojin.
Oh my god.
SNK.
It
Or
doesn't
the
matter. You understand if you understand either. Who
or the
cares?
and I've talked about this particular one in the past. The people I had friends who non-ironically were like, it's not death. Like they would have to say Death Noto and like
Yes, Noto.
Eru for and like shit like that. Like shut the fuck up. It's Death Note. Or my favorite. I bring this up all the time. It's in the panels for the horror. People who call Hausu the movie. I think you did this by the way, Pleiades. And people who
Yeah.
call Ringu. I'm like,
No,
fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
those two distinctly, I could see the reason why because ring literally, you're gonna like people are gonna think like the American one 9 times out of 10 if you're in the States saying Ringu, people that oh, okay, you mean the Japanese version. House,
Also,
yeah. If I just say house, that is the worst SEO movie title of all time.
House MD.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Seriously, like I'm gonna say house just because it's like there's a better chance of me not having to spend 5 minutes explaining what the fuck I'm talking about.
It's funny because I was watching this random YouTuber. They were making the joke like they were pretending to be House, and they kept saying that like apparently House talks about lupus a lot. Is that true?
The joke is that
It's
it's
never
almost
lupus.
never lupus on the show.
Yes. Apparently that's the
I
that's
assume
the
it has
joke.
a
It's
wide
never
enough set of
lupus.
symptoms that it could be just about anything else, or it comes
It's
up with
because
like
it's
every
like
possible diagnosis.
it's all the autoimmune responses. So it could be, which is like literally every freaking symptom you could think of. It's like fever, pasty, pallid, like complexion, all that. So it's like it could be anything. We don't have like an answer for it. Oh, it must be lupus.
So apparently that's the joke. Except that one time, was it actually lupus once?
Yes, it was
No,
actually
one
lupus. I
time.
think it was an episode with
Lupus
magician in
happened
it.
once.
It's just funny. I've never watched House. All I know, I kind of know the jokes where he walks in. He's like, it's not that. It's just this, and like he talks like that too. He talks like very like you know. I know nothing about House.
It's if
Anyway,
Scrubs was crossed with Rick and Morty.
that's actually a very good example. I think that's very on point.
I would have gone
But
Sherlock Holmes instead of Rick and Morty, just given the direct inspiration. But okay,
I don't think he's very Sherlock
it's the
Holmesy.
his name is House for that very reason. Manuel.
Is it really? I didn't know
Yes,
that's supposed to be a reference. Is it like why is it not home? Was that wait? Is
because
Holmes meant to?
as
it's
in
this ironic hero thing.
home, as in the place where you live, which is also a house.
But it's spelled with an L. Home.
Yes, but it's still pronounced without the L for the most part.
I pronounce it with the L.
Well, I'm
Never
sorry, Manuel, that you pronounce it with the Eru.
You think anybody, you think Mad TV or SNL ever made a skit about a Mexican house, and then they did just call them like Holmes or something like that?
That's kind of funny, actually. I want to do that skit now. There was there, I'm not gonna say this joke. Never mind. No, I'm about to get canceled. Anyway, it's about Mexicans. I was like, technically, I could have said it, I just don't want to say it. Anyway, um, damn, that was a tangent. That wasn't even on the docket. I just started talking about the fucking anime names. It just annoys. It does annoy me though. I don't know.
My whole thing is, it's like, you can call it whatever it is. If you try to correct me, I'm gonna
There you
call
go.
you a fucking. I'm gonna call you a
I think that.
dumbass.
I think
I'll
that's
understand
fair.
whichever you say. Just don't like waste time trying to correct it if you know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I guess that's fair. It's funny because like shit. Like when it's only when it works in anime. You get like the shit like video games, so like things get really, really changed. No one ever talks about the original video game titles for some franchises, and there's some weird ones out there, like the entire Warrior series being the Muso series, the Yakuza series being that. Oh, I
Like
think
a
they probably changed the
dragon,
name to Like a Dragon.
Ryuga
Yeah,
Gotoko or whatever.
Mhm.
But they actually
yeah.
changed that one in English, so
Finally,
yeah.
it was funny
Final
because
Fantasy.
because like Yakuza has been doing those prequels. I don't know if you can call them prequels, but the ones set like in Edo period or whatever the fuck. And like one of the cited reasons why they didn't bring over like the first one they were doing was because like it's not a Yakuza title. It's like and they're like, what do we call it, kind of thing. And it's like you should have never called the first game Yakuza. That was your mistake.
To be fair,
Well,
I
it's
think
like
Like a
with,
Dragon has a whole bunch of different connotations. But
probably. I mean,
in
but
America,
like they
you'd probably
also
expect more like a Bruce Lee kind of game.
I guess,
see.
but I guess now everyone knows. What
Yeah.
you're saying?
I was gonna say, it's kind of like how with Yoshi's Island, they called it Super Mario World 2, because otherwise, like, they didn't think people would buy it.
Did you know that in Japan, Super Mario World is called Super Mario Brothers 4?
Yes, I did know that.
Is it really?
Yeah. Did you know that in Japan, Super Mario Brothers 2 was Doki Doki?
Okay, Manuel, move on to whatever's next on the docket.
Doki. Oh god! I remember one time on a DTL, I made the joke that it was Doki Doki Literature Club, which is not an original
Not
joke.
one time. There's 10 times. You could have like a whole 10-minute compilation of all the fucking times
Exactly.
this was mentioned.
Exactly, because I used to like saying that. It's funny because, like, mind you, I made it up on my own, as in, like, I didn't hear anyone else do it. But when I went to go Google the phrase, people
It's
have made that joke countless times.
yeah,
Because, like,
because
they
it's
were already.
low-hanging fruit.
So, anyways, my point is, when I mentioned it, I'm sure it was not the first time. When I mentioned it on one of the streams, Callie would not stop laughing. Remember? There was one time where she thought it was the funniest joke ever, and I'm like,
Probably exactly the first time.
it probably was the first time until she heard it 10 more times. Um,
The funny thing about jokes, they don't sound funnier the more you hear them.
Man, fuck you, Pleiades. What else? What else was there? I wasn't talking about the Nintendo
The
Direct.
Nintendo Direct.
Did you like the Nintendo Direct? Did you watch it? Are you excited for Kirby?
I'm not, because it's like a re-release, but but it'll be a good excuse for me to pick it up, because I think it was like, what, on the Wii U, or was it the
The
Wii?
Wii. No one likes the Wii. Yeah, like no one played it there. It's like fucking Return to Dreamland, I think, right? That's the one's getting a remake.
I mean, I actually like the Wii just because I was able to like run a hard drive off of it, and so
Oh yeah.
like I got to play like a lot of games that I would have normally not ever gotten a shot, because either I couldn't find them or I just wouldn't have ever heard about them.
Wii is one of those good consoles where you could hack it and still play quote unquote like ROMs, disk images in this case, on original hardware. So that's kind of cool. Not doing emulator. Anyways, keep going. What else is there?
Okay. Pikmin. Honestly, like I saw Pikmin, I got hyped. I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
You're
Pikmin's one of my favorite franchises. I fucking love Pikmin. But there was like Ice Pikmin, and so now I'm also wondering, like, okay, so that's the new Pikmin. Are we getting the purple and the white ones back? Are we getting like all of them back, or is it like the rock one's gonna stay gone and they're just gonna rotate them out, kind of like how Pokemon rotates out like mechanisms with like Megas and Dynamax and shit like that, and that's how we're gonna go?
It's funny
But
you
also,
like Pikmin. I always thought Pikmin was a series that like is hard to reiterate on because it's so like okay.
it's kind of like an RTS,
Yeah,
but there's no turn based, so like you actively move around, and also the thing is like the Pikmin are just fucking adorable. So like how like in RPGs, like this guy is a good example. This guy, the way they design the sound effects, the music, and everything makes it so like it's an absolute dopamine like gold mine anytime you level up. Just because like the way they design everything like makes it feel very gratifying. That's kind of like how Pikmin feels to me a lot of times. Like the plucking the Pikmins, the way that they all sing when you're like moving them around and junk. It's very endearing. It's like, yeah, I like this.
No, I don't want to rag on Pikmin too much because I said that about not reiterating. But you want to know a game I do want to rag on is everyone who's, and it's funny because I have a lot of friends who are excited for this. I didn't want to. I almost had ragging on them. The Katamari, the We Heart Katamari game that's coming
Oh,
out.
yeah, I'm buying that too. I'm buying that for
First of
you
all,
one.
that's a remake. That We Heart Katamari is from the PS2. Why is no one mentioning that? Second of all, as
I
far
bought
as
that one
I'm
too,
as far
and
as
I own the
I'm
original,
concerned, thank you. As far as I'm concerned,
and I bought the one for
uh,
PS3.
the Katamari Damacy is the epitome of a game that was fucking awesome when it first came out. But once you played the first game, you've played every other title in the series, as far as I'm concerned. There is no
No, I'm
reason to
cool.
play another.
No, I'm cool. They could add like they could just make it like an expansion pack off the first one that's already released and just add like I don't know like 50 stages. Yeah, I'll absolutely buy that.
It's funny you say
There's
that because
certain
I
things
bought
where
the first one, the one that's on the Switch now. I think it's on other consoles
Mhm.
too, but the one's on the
Yeah,
Switch now.
reroll.
It's it's a fucking. I didn't. I guess the title implies I didn't even think about that. It's a fucking rehash. It's like a great. It's not a remake per se, but it's like a greatest hits thing of all these.
yeah,
It's like what? Huh?
yeah,
You
yeah, I
sure,
want that.
Manuel?
Yes. How many fucking how? And besides, how many fucking times can you just roll shit into a ball? That concept gets old fast.
Manuel, do you know how many times I've rebought Resident Evil 4?
I guess that's a similar point, but when you buy Resident
I have
Evil 4
every
again,
single platform I have.
it's the same
Like
game though.
I want to buy a freaking VR specifically just so I can have also that version of Resident Evil 4.
Is it Konami that makes Katamari Damacy? I think it's
Capcom.
kind
Oh
of
wait, yeah, it is Konami. Konami made
Namco.
Katamari. I thought you were gonna ask what it made.
Namco, whatever.
Namco.
Namco,
Okay.
Namco that makes Katamari Damacy. The whole the what was it? It was the reason I brought them up. Fuck, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, when Capcom redoes Resident Evil 4, you know you're getting Resident Evil 4. But Namco likes to pretend that they're making a new game every few years with it, and they are not. Every fucking Katamari game's the same, and this one really is because this one's straight up a remake.
Yeah, Manuel, reroll is also just a remake of the first one.
Oh, it is.
Yes.
See, they changed enough that I thought it was
Like
a
80% of the Switch's library.
well. See, there you go. They're
Yeah,
literally
but
just
like it's
making
like
1 and 2 again.
one on that platform. Is
Back
the
in the
thing.
day, when G4 was around, I remember they used to have this award show called G4ia. It ended up becoming like a weird thing that XPlay did for the last couple years of the channel, but the first couple years, it was a real award show that they would go to like LA and have like the Microsoft Theater back when it was the Nokia Theater, whatever, and they would have an actual big award show. And Katamari Damacy won the award for like, the best game of the year, the
Yeah,
most innovative game.
yeah.
And they used to do all these skits where like Link would show up to like accept his award, and they did the
And
one where like what's his name, the kid,
King of all cosmos or the prince.
the prince, like where the prince was like there, and he's all like, oh yeah, I'm glad we have this innovative game, be sure to pick up the sequel next year where like nothing has changed, it's just more levels, like yeah,
No,
we're
we
probably
love
not gonna
Katamari is different. No,
that-
we love Katamari and Katamari Damacy are distinctly different.
I don't think that's a true statement at all.
I
but
know because I played both of these games to fucking death.
But
I know for a fact.
even on the G4 award show, they made fun of it, where it's all like, "Yeah, we're probably not going to win this award next year," and I'm like, "Yeah, because you
That was
fucking
before the game came out. You wouldn't even know what the sequel would be like.
they already announced
The
it."
point of the point of the no, but like the point of the joke is that the game was so fucking weird at the time when like it was a era where so much of game design was kind of starting to get into that homogenized section of like, okay, we know what works for triple A titles, so we're just gonna do this. And the fact that this weird ass cartoon game about rolling shit up into a ball and throwing it into the fucking sun, it's like that was such a breath of fresh air. It was so fucking like Like that thing got me through high school, man.
For the record, I do want to say that I love Katamari Damacy. I'm not saying that it's a bad game. It's an amazing game. I just don't know why they keep making new, quote unquote, new ones. They don't need to. Just stop.
I mean, I wouldn't have gotten to
It's
play
like-
it without the remake.
I mean, it's the
That's
same
my
thing as
opinion.
like, I mean, how different are the Dynasty Warriors games?
I agree. Dynasty. It's funny because it's funny. I wanted to do a whole Dynasty Warriors one. The only thing they ever do, and I will say this is a little different, is because the time frame keeps expanding. One day it's going to be Dynasty Warriors 17, and you're going to just start from like ancient China and then go to like the fucking Cultural Revolution. Okay, that was a bad joke. I shouldn't have gone that far forward. But still, it's just like because like they keep like the first game. The first game started like a Red
Like
Cliffs and
ancient
ended.
kind of.
Yeah, and they keep following a longer period. Like the most recent game, they covered the Jin for the first time ever, which is the dynasty that eventually wins. By the way, in case you're curious how the Three Kingdoms end, none of the Three Kingdoms win.
Sounds like war.
Yeah, none of them
But,
win.
like-
They spend so much time fighting each other.
But the point is that like I would argue there's certain franchises like Katamari, like I would say Dynasty Warriors Musou games, like Call of Duty, honestly. Like some people, some groups are like literally, yeah, you don't really need a whole lot of new stuff. Just give us like an update and like, yeah, I don't really need more. Like, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Just give me more of this stuff.
Are you gonna
like-
play Tears of the Kingdom, the new Breath of the Wild game, the sequel?
I mean,
Absolutely.
I might. I never played Breath of the Wild, so. Is it me, or are they like doing references to Twilight Princess in there?
Okay, now let me tell you what I think. Now, all this is not confirmed. There's no confirmation, so this isn't spoilers. Like before somebody's like, first of all, this kind of is spoilers, I guess, because I am going to spoil Hyrule Warriors. But I think everyone here's played it, so they're going to. So in Hyrule Warriors, there's this plot where there's this cult to revive Ganon, and there's this necromancer. I forget his fucking name, but
Is it
there's this whole.
Noctan?
No, I forgot his name. Do you remember his name, JD?
No, I'll look it up.
But there's this leader of this cult, and he ends up being the one who revives Ganon. Plot twist: Ganon like takes over his body, and that's how Ganon gets reborn in this alternate universe version.
Are we sure that's not Zant? Because that sounds like exactly what happened with Zant.
His name's Aster.
So- Aster,
Oh,
that's his
okay.
name. And yeah, I know Xant's actually from Twilight Princess. So my point is, the game gets really meta. I don't know if you remember this, JD. The game gets really meta. The Hyrule Warriors, the Age of Calamity, gets really meta at the end. Because spoiler alert, there's this whole time travel element where people from like the fucked up version come back to save the past, and they even say at one point in the
Which
game,
fucked up versions? Which past?
the actual Breath of the Wild, the game, all the warriors in the past died. They lost that war, and Age of Calamity is to like not lose the war the first time. But
Yeah, but the timeline is so fucked. It's like
thank you.
which
So
past? Which
game-
future?
the game gets so meta that it actually refers to this. They're all, at some point when the people are going back to the future, they're like, I think we just created a new timeline. And I'm like, you guys did not just say that. You guys did not just fucking say that. I mean, mind you, I'm paraphrasing, but they do say that basically that now there's two timelines. They're going back to theirs where like they lost that war, but they won in the end, but they lost that initial war. And now they're leaving this people in the past where they won the war. My point to mentioning all this, by the way, was to mention the Aster guy. I think the person that keeps showing is Aster, because they do even say, where's our Aster? Like Aster, we have not seen the Breath of the Wild Aster. The
know.
cult that revives Ganon. So I think that that's going to be one of the main antagonists, and it would be really lame and weak if they just bring Ganon back. I think it's going to be Aster, or maybe they'll bring fucking Vadi. I don't fucking care, but I don't think
That'd be
that.
cool. Just because like I haven't like seen or heard much of them since like what was it? Minish Cap?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's the last game Vadi's in, because Vadi's only the Four Swords villain. He's in like
Mhm.
Four Swords Adventures and
Did they
almost
put
called-
that back to
I called it
did they put
Vadi's
it to
Caps.
Switch yet?
Yes, it's out already.
Okay, I wasn't sure because
I
I
actually-
I always wanted to like play that when I was a kid, but like it was such a fucking poor design decision to make it be like, yeah, you need 4 fucking Game Boy Advances and the goddamn cables and all this dumb stuff.
Yeah, I don't have a green screen. Thank you for the comment, though. Call tech support. Please call tech support for me. It's actually funny because I usually don't tie the mask on this tight, and it's been on very tight, and it's making me. It's actually hard to talk. So if I sound muffled, I
I
apologize.
thought you were gonna make a stipulation joke, but okay.
Oh, I don't know about that.
But
But no,
the reason
here's
why I kept like thinking of a freaking Twilight Princess, because like just because his Link's arm is like the black and green
oh yeah,
highlight, and then at a certain point, like at the end, they're like kind of like singing along the tune, and I swear to God, it sounds like the sound effects that they use for like Minna's voice, kind of.
I will admit that. I mean, I will say that in my opinion, I don't know if you guys agree with me. This trailer, this new trailer, I feel showed less than the older trailers. Like
Yeah, I
this
don't
was
know, like these don't look like a new game to me. Granted, it's because I didn't play Breath of the Wild, but like looking at these previews, looking at Breath of the Wild previews, I'm like, this feels like an expansion. Like, I mean, cool, like magic arm,
the
but
part that
this feels
annoys
like an
me
expansion pack.
is everyone's comparing it to Majora's Mask because how Majora's Mask is a very similar turnaround game. And I don't mean to say anything about gameplay. I mean in the
They use the engine because
yeah,
before they move on to like another one and
but
just like scrap it for a whole new engine, might as well get some use out of this one. Okay, yeah, I
yeah,
follow you. I follow you.
but Majora's Mask came out within like 2 years or maybe even a year. I think it's 2 years though. Within 2 years of Ocarina of Time, it's been 5 fucking years. It might be
6.
even more than that. It's been 6 fucking years
To
since
be
fucking Breath of the
fair,
Wild. What?
to be
That's
fair,
a
the
whole new
last
game. That's way too long to have been using the same engine, in my
Yeah,
opinion. I don't develop
Manuel,
games, but
do you know how
in
long Call of
different
Duty
times.
used the engine from I think it's Doom 3?
Good point.
Doom 3. Are you serious? Doom 3 is like from like
They were still using id Tech for the longest time.
Doom 3 came out when I was in high school.
I
Like
would
the
also
original
argue
Xbox.
like the last since 2020, it feels like it's all just been 1 year.
I mean, that is true. Like there are times when I had to like look back about like, oh, I remember when I hung out with them last 4 years ago. Like my brain will like
So
flash
fucking
forward.
time war.
But yeah,
Yeah, there we go. See, thank you, Wesley. Take in mind, BOT dubs would have come out early, but Rona.
also the thing I wanted to mention, and it's funny because JD's all willing to pay it, and I'm still like,
It's $10, Manuel.
it honestly isn't like it's like eat the rich kind of thing. It's like if Nintendo is not hurting for money, they're reporting like billions and billions dollar profit. But this game is the first. Actually, it's not the first because I think
We're talking about this now.
it's $70.
Okay.
It's $70, and like mind you, somebody leaked it the day before the direct came out. Someone leaked it on Twitter. They're like, guys, the digital is listed for $70. Like, I think the price is gonna go up. I went to Amazon that night, pre-ordered it. Thank God I did. I mean, it saved $10. I don't know if I'm the one who cares about. Honestly, no, fuck that. Like, it doesn't matter if you're rich or not. Like, fucking cut some. Like, I'm always against. I'm always against like needless price changes. Like there's no reason that this game should cost $70. And you'd be like, oh well, the developers, yeah, they fucking used a 6-year-old game engine. They're using fucking Breath of the Wild 1.
Well, hold on.
Yeah, but they still had to make a whole bunch of new content, man.
Also, wait. Because here's the thing: the developers, at least the programmers, like the actual people working on like in the quote unquote trenches, they're not the ones who decide the prices. It's the fuckers upstairs.
Thank you for bringing that up. I didn't put this in the note.
Assign proper blame to proper people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Fuck you, Doug Bowser. Fight me in the
go.
street. I will meet you in the parking lot in Seattle, Redmond, where the fuck you are in Washington. No, I shouldn't make threats like that directly because I'm gonna get arrested. But I'm kidding, by the way, if any law enforcement are watching. But thank you for bringing that up. The day before the day of the direct, literally hours before the direct came out, because they probably knew they were gonna get some feedback. They put out a goodwill PR like, "Oh, we're raising our employee salaries, ha ha ha," and I'm like, "Fuck you, Nintendo." Fuck you. There's no yeah, it's great you're paying them more. You should
the fact that they're trying to like make their own fucking cinematic universe now.
You should have paid them more before. You fucking have like record-breaking profits. Shut the fuck up. Pay them more than you're paying them even at that raise. That has nothing to do with Tears of the Kingdom, even though that's clearly why they released that info.
Did you see the new Super Mario Brothers movie trailer?
Yeah. It's funny because it says, is that the one that has the Super Mario Brothers Super Show?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I fucking hate that animation. They're the ones who do the Minion movies, right?
Yeah.
I fucking hate
Yeah.
them.
Mhm.
I hate everything they've ever done. Period. Um, Light Chaser? Am I making that up, or is that the
Illumination.
Chinese one?
Illumination.
Illumination. Light Chaser is a Chinese studio. Oops, I'm reviewing one of the movies in that title. It's similar. Illumination, Light Chaser.
Sure, we'll give it to you. Keep going.
Anyway, I fucking hate everything they do, but the movie looks okay. It looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure I'll like
That was
it. I fucking still hate Chris Pratt.
I don't hate Chris Pratt, but it's starting to get very samey.
Yeah, so
Is
that's
the thing. It's like, what's the term? Overexposure, where it's like if I have like a favorite musical artist and they put out 2 albums in the same year, it's gonna make like it not feel as special, and then it's gonna make me more likely to like stop wanting to hear their music because I'm gonna start hearing it fucking everywhere, and it's gonna get kind of tiring.
Oh yeah, I
And that's
agree.
kind of how Chris Pratt is.
I agree with Weston. Pedro
Pedro
Pascal.
Pascal.
Yeah, I can't like what the fuck's his last name? Pedro
I love
Pascal.
that man.
He did a was it Matt not Matt TV Matt is Matt TV even still on?
Saturday
I
Night
meant
Live.
SNL.
No,
Yeah, I meant
SNL.
SNL. I meant SNL. Yeah. He did that Mario skit last week, and that was a good one. I agree. It's funny because there's that whole meme that went around like in 20 years from now, every TV show is going to be Pedro Pascal escorting someone through a barren wasteland or some shit like
I'm okay with this. I'm okay. We finally get our turn. I'm happy with this, dog. I'm so happy with this. Also, the fucking skit about him being a mom. I didn't even watch it. My girlfriend sent it to me, and I fucking died laughing because that was the most accurate shit I've ever seen in my life.
Before we start wrapping it up, Sue, but I wanted to mention Style Savvy 5. I don't know if I'm the only one. I'm sorry, fuck, that's not the name of the title. I did that on accident. That sounds like I was making, what the fuck's it called? Fashion designer?
Yeah, that game. So it looks interesting, but like if it's only gonna be interesting to me if you can have like full custom like options, because otherwise, so many of those outfits are like all just like designs that have been reused from like the last 10 years. It's like none of this is actually like groundbreaking or anything. This is just like cottagecore, peacoat, like
Pageantry.
it's not like actually like
Well,
interesting. But if you
it's
can put
funny.
like weird avant-garde shit, like if I can go in there and just like make the most weird Rick Owens shit with the fucking Kiss high heel,
I'm pretty
hell
sure
yeah,
the
I'll do
game
that.
the game does let you customize patterns. I think it's in a similar way. I mean, mind you, I only know this because I've been trying to get. I'll be straight up with you. I've been trying to get a review copy for A to J through Xseed, and
Sick.
so I've been getting all their pressers lately about the game. And there's more stuff than they said in the trailer, obviously. But I think they're going to use an Animal Crossing type thing where you just like draw pixels kind of for patterns and shit like that.
Cool.
Um,
Okay.
Also, like I was hinting at earlier, there used to be a series Nintendo published for years called Style Savvy, and I don't remember what the Japanese title is. Back to that whole joke about
Was it on the
Japanese
DS?
titles. It was on the DS. It was on the DS and the 3DS. Fun fact though, in Japan, where the game obviously came from,
It was called Doki Doki Panic.
it was called Donkey Kong Fan. They had a lot of DLC for the game that we didn't get here, and they used to get DLC for
Ooh.
like Baby the Star Shine Bright and like H and Naruto and shit like that. And so
Oh, and all that is gone now.
yeah, and I'm hoping that this game gets something similar, but now that J Fashion's more known here, and also I think XC's releasing it, not Nintendo anymore. By the way, it's not called Style Savvy, whatever. That's why it's called Fashion Dreamer. Same
Is
same
this a,
developer.
I just have to ask, is this a completely like new release, or is this like a port?
No,
Because
this is
I
new.
wasn't sure, I'd never heard about it before.
My eye on the fucking mic. Yes, it's a new release. It's done by the same developer that did Style Savvy. Fun fact, I don't know if you saw my fun
Okay.
fact. When I Googled them to make sure they're the same developer, Sin Sophia, they also developed WCW versus NWO World Tour for the N64, which is one of my favorite games of all time, just because I had good memories playing that with my friends. Like, and we used to make up our own little, like, we made up our own belts. Like, we write a piece of paper, you
Of
know.
course, God, come on, like,
But I thought that was funny. I'm like, really? Like you went from that to like it's great. I'm not saying anything's wrong with that, but I thought that was just funny. I'm like, yeah, Sin Sophia. But hopefully that's the game I'm looking forward to. There was no
like I said, for me too, is like my whole thing is just like I just want to see like them actually let people be creative and not just like take fits from like Instagram or Pinterest and then like you just choose from shit that already exists. Because that would be lame to me.
Anyways, there's apparently over 1,000 pre-made designs. You can customize them. I'm reading the fucking copy, the ad block myself real fast, but that's exciting. Real fast, Advance Wars is finally coming out. The re-release. Metroid Prime HD came out. Why the fuck is that $40? Fuck you, Nintendo.
Because a lot of people worked hard on that
People-
manual.
It was on the.
people pay
It was
for
on.
It's
it was
still a
on the
great
Wii.
game. It's worth the money.
All three games are on the Wii and Wii U for like $60. So fuck you charging 40 for just one.
$60, I bet you anything. You go on eBay right now, it's
Well,
probably
not
like
anymore.
120.
Yeah,
I
it's
own
probably
it.
more than. And I lost my copy,
Like-
sadly.
Yeah, like it's insane. Like you might as well like fuck a 401k, just buy retro Nintendo games.
But
Like-
I think that I thought that was mildly annoying. There's also a new. Is there a new Professor Layton game or
Yes.
they're making? I don't know.
New Layton.
And there's a few. I can't remember. There's a few other weird new things.
Yeah,
Oh, Baten
no, no,
Kaidos is.
Sambo de Amigo. I'm surprised
Oh.
it took him so long because it's. I'm like, holy shit, this is perfect. Fucking hell yeah, HD fucking maracas. Let's fucking go. That sounds.
I'm
hella
excited
fun.
because I played the Samba de Amigo game for the Wii, and if you never played it, the Wii has the nunchuck.
Yo, fucking sleeper, like goated fighting game community. It's insane
Wait,
how like thriving
they
that
really-
community is.
Are they really doing Def Jam Vendetta? What the fuck? Oh, the fucking Sin Sophia did that game too. You're saying?
Yeah.
Def Jam Vendetta has like one of the like weirdly most committed fighting game communities of all time. It's like a mini version of the Melee community. It's crazy to the point that
Who-
those copies for PS2 are insanely expensive.
I want to know who the fuck works for Sin Sophia that they're apparently making wrestling and like the rapper fighting game, but they're also making like they're fucking digitizing Baby the Stars Shine Bright, clothing.
Yo, this would be a perfect time to like cross both of them.
Oh my
'Cause
god!
that, like, listen, you get Young Thug in there. Have you seen that bit of where he had like the freaking like the freaking like tilted hat he was wearing, like the black kimono dress? Like it was like the dopest shit ever. Just mix them. Just
Well,
cross them both.
Was
Oh
it
my
John?
God, it'd be
Was
amazing.
it John Cena? John Cena who like there was a picture of him like the other day where he was wearing a skirt. I don't even know why. It was John Cena, right?
Yeah,
Like,
he looked like ass. And
why
not in a
was he
good
wearing
way.
a skirt?
Because I don't know, man.
I mean,
Who
for the
cares?
record, you're allowed to wear a skirt. So don't give me. That's not why I'm asking. I'm curious.
I'm gonna say he looks like shit in that skirt. If he, like, I'm gonna like judge whatever you're wearing based on what you're wearing. Hence why nobody has worn a dress like Young Thug. That entire photo set is impeccable.
Somebody already photoshopped it where like it's fucking it's that like the John Cena Chairman Mao edit because John
Cena.
because if you don't know, John Cena speaks like perfect Mandarin, like insanely good. But that's a story for the day. So that's it. I think pretty much Nintendo Direct. I'm excited. I'm
Ghost
excited for
Trick.
everything that's coming out.
Ghost Trick, the best
Ghost
game that I've never played that I'm actually like excited to like see. So hopefully I get a chance to play this now.
Yeah, it's a very good game.
The entire concept of Lil Bayonetta is still fucking weird to me.
Oh,
It's just, I'm sorry. It's just like that. When that game comes out, the timeline's gonna be a fucking mess, and I'm really looking forward to
I
it.
didn't even realize that was the Bayonetta game until the end. I also don't
Exactly.
play Splatoon, so all the Splatoon content was lost on me. Power to you
Yeah.
if you love Splatoon, but I don't. I mean, I don't not love it. I just don't play it.
I wanted to get into Splatoon, but at this point, there's so many games and everything. I was like, I'm not gonna like. Yeah, no, it's too much effort at this point. Fuck that.
Yeah, and I can't. There was some other shit I was excited for, but I think that's all I can remember off the top of my head. Like I said, the Baten Kaidos games are getting remade. There's Octopath Traveler 2 that's coming to everything. I know there's one more big one I wanted to mention at least briefly, but it doesn't matter. Oh,
Fashion
and-
Dreamer, I got that. Oh,
Yeah,
the
I think
Xenosaga
that's
expansion.
it's
Like,
funny because
I don't play Xenosaga, so like I literally wrote down in my notes.
I watched.
sleep.
I watched the Nintendo Direct with Tipu, A to J Tipu, a friend of ours, friend, somebody's been long-term A to J, and we were talking about like the games, and he was calling me racist because I fucking hate the Xenosaga series because everyone fucking has the European accents,
Yeah, that's
and
weird.
and the only reason, by the way, I don't know if anyone knows this, last thing I'll say, JD, the only reason that game has the EU dub is because
I know why it has
the first game, Nintendo of America refused to release it for whatever reason. So there was a whole Operation Moonfall, or what the fuck it was called, to get it Rainfall.
Moonfall
And
was for Majora's Mask 3DS.
there you go. And they ended up, that game got published by, of all people, GameStop.
Oh shit! This nightmare. I
And yeah,
remember this.
and when they published it, obviously they're not Nintendo, so they don't have the budget to fucking get a new dub, so they kept the EU dub. But because that first game was kind of like, everyone's like, oh, the
Are you
fucking Xenosaga series
serious?
has to. I fucking hate it. I fucking
Are
hate
you
these
fucking
accents.
serious?
Honestly, I don't mind. I find this is probably
That's
mad.
hilarious. I
This is
didn't know that's why that is, and
that is why.
that's why it's been how it is. That is the funniest thing I've ever heard.
And I'm sorry if I'm sorry if, like, you could talk shit about my accent. I don't fucking care. Um, I just can't stand like some of the North London and the Cockney accents and shit like that. And there's so many characters that have those in this series. Like, oh, now what's all this now then? And I'm fucking
I
like,
just imagine the most
please shut
shitty.
up, please shut
I
up.
imagine the most shitty like food ever.
And for
Like,
the
I'm just
record,
imagining them
yeah,
eating like blood sausage
the
and
fucking
like putting bread and ketchup, or putting bread and fries on ketchup on like a piece of just ketchup and just eating that as bar food.
and then fucking not seasoning anything, even though your fucking country like took over everyone else's for fucking spices.
Fine.
I think we're
That's
being
fine.
racist now. Let's stop.
Yeah,
Fuck
Manuel.
that. No, that is true. Fuck that. Fuck that colonizer shit. They're the problem.
I love how it turned into like, I fucking hate like these particular voices in Xenosaga to just us bashing on fucking Europe.
Manuel.
Breakfast.
Also, quick
They
correction.
got great rap.
Hmm?
Dog
Nintendo
shit
did
breakfast.
publish Xenoblade Chronicles in America. They just distributed it exclusively at GameStop.
Oh well,
There you
they
go,
did.
that's what it is.
They
And
didn't
also,
give.
wait, because it was at GameStop, wasn't the whole thing that like there were no copies
Yeah,
that were like new
yeah.
plastic
Because they
sealed?
Thank you.
You had
It
to
was.
like anytime you went to get one, it had to be a GameStop, and it was already gutted.
I also know this because I had friends who worked at GameStop at the time. I think one of them was Tipu actually, and he told us that at one point they still had a couple that were new, but because like the game was like kind of getting rare at this point, they opened all of them, changed the price from 60 new to like 80 or 100 used, and then put them
Fuck
back.
them.
Yeah,
Absolutely fuck them.
and they could do this because they were the only store that had copies, like literally the only store. I bought mine from GameStop, and yes, in case you're curious, mine was also like a gutted copy, and I'm like, I fucking paid full price for it because it was the only way to get it back then. It was the only way. Fuck you, GameStop. I hope you guys go under. And I feel bad because
sure
Nestor, yeah, Nestor, another friend of the channel, he manages a GameStop now in like San Bernardino or some shit like that. So I hope you're unemployed, Nestor. Shut up.
Yeah, here's the thing. Those hours, that experience, that's the real value of all that. So whenever that happens, he's gonna have a better job waiting for him afterwards.
Exactly.
Okay, wrapping up, Manuel. What are we doing this week?
Oh, so next thing is the Drink Talk Roll on Friday with Pleiades and myself and How. Warren says he might show up. Who the fuck knows? Maybe Andrew will show up too. Maybe it'll be 5 of us for the first time ever. Who knows? But no matter what, it'll happen in some capacity. Also the Wednesday gaming streams. I don't know when we're gonna fucking finish playing Wild Arms 2, but me and Snacks have been talking about starting playing Suikoden, so we're probably gonna continue A to G Adventures without Warren for at least for a while. So look forward to that. Hopefully next week, but not this week. I'm just wanted to point that out there in case you were curious about the gaming streams on Wednesdays, and that's about it. Shout out to any Kenneth current patrons. Thank you, Pleiades, for being here. It's funny, it was Valentine's Day. We were gonna do some Valentine's Day talk. We kind of talked about it for a minute. Hope you're having a good time. Even if you're single or whatever, just fucking have a good time anyway. Who the fuck cares? Don't let capitalism tell you to you need a date today.
Here's ultimately the thing. Listen, it's really just about the effort and the thought. Money is, as far as that is, like, it's a it's time like compressed into like a physical form. So that's why sometimes it's like, oh, big gesture, yeah, sure. The real shit that like counts is like when you're like, oh man, you do something like thoughtful. That shit hits like no other.
Tomorrow.
That is the most important thing you can do.
Yep, and tomorrow go run out and buy some 50% off candy. I like to wait a little longer because I don't like to get the rush, but I'll pick up whatever the fuck's left over.
Just wait until 10 o'clock and then run back and like fish out the dumpster.
Exactly. Oh man, I missed that. Party City, we would throw away so much shit, like candy, like that seasonal candy, and we would just take it all home, live off of bags of candy. Anyways, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you're watching live, catch us on Tuesdays. I think next Tuesday we're doing a game show thing. I'm not sure who's on. And the Tuesday after that, which is the 21st is the game show. 28th is we're doing a retro game topic with Fengi and maybe another guest, but Fengi for sure. And yeah, and that's February in the outline. And thank you all for watching. Peace out.